Good morning, everybody. My name is Nathan with Hanguk.com. Thanks for joining our Facebook live stream today. And Hanguk provides a free service for living and studying in Korea. And today we're going to be talking about accommodations. If you have a question, feel free to leave a comment below this video and we'll get back to you after the live stream. So as I said, we're talking about accommodations today, matching your accommodation needs with our free service. And you may be asking why accommodations might be important for studying in Korea. While you will be in class most of the day, half your time will be spent outside of class, and part of that obviously will be where you're going to be living. So in order to match it to your pricing needs, as well as maybe your personality and study habits, or how you want to enjoy Korea, we'll work with you to find an accommodation that matches with you. So our process is quite simple. You first let us know what your preferences are, as well as maybe your price range. We'll look for you at all the different options we have available, and then we'll send you a package with pictures, as well as pricing, what your monthly rent will be, if there's utility bills, the deposit amount, etc. And we'll guide you through the whole process and make it a smooth transition for you for when you come to study in Korea. So we're going to talk about 5 different types today. We have the mini studio, a shared house, dormitory, homestay, and serviced apartment. And these are the 5 types that we can help arrange for you when you come study in Korea. So the first type we'll talk about is the mini studio. The mini studio, also called a goshwon in Korean, are low-price accommodations that typically are used by university students, but technically anyone can stay there. And they normally include the furniture you see here in this picture, a bed, a desk, some shelving, as well as bathroom facilities, and a mini fridge. We're going to go through the different pros and cons of each type. So first, about the mini studio. Some pros are that they're very affordable and inexpensive. They come fully furnished, as you saw in the photo before, and you'll get a private room with no large deposit. You may have heard in Korea that some housing options have a very large deposit you have to put down, sometimes as high as maybe 5,000 or 10,000 US dollars. This is not the case for the mini studio. So again, as I mentioned, it's very inexpensive in comparison. A few cons about the mini studio are that the room size is on the small side. You will have your own bathroom, but you'll have to share kitchen facilities. And typically, mini studios don't allow guests. For me, I have a friend that's lived in Korea for quite long, like maybe 5 years, and he's lived exclusively in mini studios, and some he's enjoyed quite a lot. So if you're here long term, mini studio is one of the recommended housing types we have. Next type is a share house, and a share house is an apartment that's shared by multiple people, and either you'll have your own private room or you'll share a room like this picture down here. And it's a great way to stay in Korea and for an affordable price. So some pros about a share house is that you'll have diverse roommates from all around the world, as well as Korean roommates. It is affordable, similar to a mini studio. You'll have a high quality apartment that you'll be sharing, and you'll have opportunities to practice Korean right from the get-go, since you will have some Korean roommates. A few cons about the share house. You will have to share your common facilities like the living room, bathrooms, and kitchen. And you will have to form house rules with your roommates, such as who will do the cleaning, who will take out the trash, rules about guests, rules about maybe noise levels, since many of you will probably be studying at language school. So again, for those just joining us, my name is Nathan. We're talking about accommodations that Hanguk can provide for you when you come to study in Korea. And the next option we're talking about is a dormitory. So the dormitories are located on campus, and you can see 2 examples here from our partner universities in Busan. They're typically for 2 students and they share a room. You can see you get your desks and chairs, storage for your clothes, and your beds. So some pros about a dormitory are that they're one of the most affordable options we have available, and you'll get to know your fellow students very quickly since you'll be in close proximity to them, and as well as living on campus. And you also have quick access to your on-campus facilities like a gym, if they have convenience stores, bookstores on campus dining facilities as well. Some cons about the dormitory are the room size. If you've ever lived in a dormitory, you know they aren't the biggest accommodation available, but they're sufficient for studying on campus. You'll share your common areas, as I mentioned earlier, the campus facilities, as well as any common areas within the dorm, maybe study rooms or their on-campus dining. And normally dormitories in Korea have a curfew, so there will be a lockout period between, say, midnight and 5 a.m. So just be aware of that if you want to be inside your dormitory to be back home before midnight. And there may be other dorm rules such as guest rules or noise rules as well, so be aware of that. In addition, many dormitories in Korea have kind of like a point system for your behavior. So let's say you're really noisy one day and your staff comes by and knocks on your door, they may deduct some points from your score depending on what the infraction is. So just be aware of that, because that can affect if you can reapply for the dormitory actually. And then term schedule. So in Korea, most of the dormitories follow the semester schedule that's given to degree-seeking students. The Korean language schools normally follow a slightly different schedule. So if you do want to live in a dormitory, just be aware that those schedules may not quite match, but we'll of course let you know the procedure for reapplying for the dormitory, as well as how the terms match up. So you should have no problem in living in the dormitory during your stay. Next is a homestay. So a homestay, you'll be living with a Korean family, and you get to experience Korean culture right from the get-go, right from the moment you arrive in Korea. Some pros about the homestay is that you'll have ample opportunity to practice your Korean outside of class since you will be living with a Korean family. You'll have a private bedroom, and you will have some meals provided depending on what option you want to choose. Some may provide you with breakfast, some may provide you with breakfast and dinner. I've personally done a homestay, and it was a great experience. Definitely got to practice my Korean and got to enjoy some great Korean meals with the host family I had. And they also had some kids that were kind of close to my age, so I got to interact with them as well. A few cons about the homestay is that most families will have some sort of house rules for you that may be about guests or what time you should be home, that you should show up to your meals. And it may not be ideal for students that may be older or that want a little bit more freedom during their study time in Korea. So just keep that in mind. And also, just overall, the homestay is a great cultural experience. As I mentioned before, immediately get integrated into Korean society and get to practice your Korean. So again, my name is Nathan, and this is our last housing type we're talking about for gogohanguk.com. Is a service apartment, and the service apartment provides a very high-level hotel-like experience for you with various facilities that a hotel might have. So you get your own private apartment basically, and so you can set your own rules, have your own guests over if you wish. It'll be a high-level hotel style of facilities, so you'll get things like access to room services, cleaning services. There may be on-campus, or not on-campus, on-site fitness center, on-site restaurants. Some cons is that is probably the most expensive option we have. Therefore, it's not ideal if you're here long-term because you'll probably have to spend a lot of money. And you may also be separate from the general student population as opposed to living in a dormitory or a mini studio close to campus. And this grid shows our partner language schools as well as the different housing types. So you can see where the X's are, that is not an option for school, and where the O's are, you have the option of choosing that housing type. And in general, if you're going to be here for long-term studying at a university or at a language school in general, we recommend something like a dormitory or a mini studio. Those allow you to stay long-term for a very affordable price. You may be here for short-term, so maybe you'd like to experience living with a Korean family or living with Koreans. So you could choose a share house or a homestay. And if you're here for maybe an even shorter time or want to kind of have a more luxurious housing experience, service apartments are available to you as well. So we have some frequently asked questions here that we typically get, such as, will I get the place I want? Like, how far in advance can I book it? Am I able to change the housing type? And general cost options for each accommodation. So will you get the place you want? In general, yes, as long as you let us know your needs in advance, and we can do the searching for you and give you whatever options we have available. Maybe you're interested in more than one accommodation, so we can compare and contrast for you and tell you, as I did before, the pros and cons of each. So how far in advance can I book a place? Typically, we start working with you a couple months before you arrive to Korea. So after we arrange your application and your admission to language school, we'll start working with you on your needs for housing. And we'll again send you pictures, we'll send you pricing, so you can have all that information in advance to make your decision. Can I change housing types or can I move? Yes, you can. So let's say you want to try living with a Korean family in a homestay for a couple months. Then after one term of language school, you decide, I'd like to live alone in a mini studio. As long as you let us know in advance and can tell us kind of your general idea of what housing type you want, we can arrange a different housing accommodation for you. And how much does each option cost? As I mentioned before, in general, there's some more affordable options and there's some more expensive options. So on our website, there are some more details which we'll show you right now. So this is our website, gogohanguk.com, and you can see at the top we have a menu. So if you click on accommodation, so again, this explains some of the information that I was going over earlier, such as how we do our search for housing for you. And you can see our 3 steps down here. So as I said earlier, first we'll get your requirements, your pricing, and then we'll search our options for you. And then the 3rd step is that we provide the information such as pictures, the costing, as well as location for you. And of course, we make sure you get a great deal on your housing. Here's more information about the share housing and about the homestay and the frequently asked questions I just went over earlier. And here at the bottom, you'll find some general pricing information about the different housing types. These are kind of ballpark figures for you to get an idea how expensive or how affordable an option is. So for example, we have the mini studio, and you can see if you stay longer at the mini studio, the price will drop a little bit. And you can see the different line items here, such as the rent, there will be a cleaning fee. You'll see something here called key money, and this is literally a deposit for a physical key that you may get to your room or building. So that's why it's called key money. As well as there's a placement fee and a couple more notes about the mini studio type. Here we have the information about a share house, and the rent is charged monthly. And since you're living as a tenant in an apartment, you will have utility bills, so there's a fixed fee for that. There's a one-time management fee, and then there's also a small security deposit, which is refundable. Here's some pricing details about the homestay. And in general, the price is based on if you want meals or not. So let's say you just want breakfast, the price is different than if you want both breakfast and dinner. And also we just started partnership with 2 universities in Busan. For those of you that don't know about Busan, it's located in the southeast part of Korea, and it is the 2nd largest city in Korea, so it's right behind Seoul in terms of population. And it's right on the water, so you have access to beaches as well as great seafood. So we've just opened up partnership with 2 universities down there, and we also have some pricing information about housing. Although I will note that generally, or for now, we're only offering a dormitory and homestay. However, later in the future, we may open up other housing options. So you can see, again, the pricing options for, in general, the Busan area, which are slightly different than Seoul. Oh, the other thing we will mention is our study trip page, so maybe we can go back to the website for a minute. So recently we just remodeled our study trip page, and we also added a couple more study trips for you to browse. So for instance, here's our summer course page. The design changed a little bit, so feel free to browse it and explore the page to learn about our different short-term study trips. We added more information about each of the cultural experiences, and the general look and feel is slightly different as well. So you can see here we have our different activities and a short explanation of each. So in case you might not know about, say, the Churkai Museum or Gyeongbokgung Palace, you can check out the descriptions below each picture. You can also click on the pictures to make them bigger, like so. And we offer different pricing for different plans. So maybe you'd like to enjoy more activities, we have our gold option, or if you'd like to enjoy less activities, we have silver and bronze. And another section about frequently asked questions about our study trips, as well as different information that you will need during the application process. And we have our youth trip, our summer and spring trip, as well as winter, so you can experience Korea any time of the year, really. And we're hopping back to the presentation. So again, my name is Nathan with gogohanguk.com, and if you have any questions about accommodations or arranging your study in Korea, you can of course leave a comment on this video below, or feel free to contact us through any of these means. Our main method is email. We're also on Facebook, as you know, for this live stream, and you can find us on Instagram and YouTube. So I want to thank you for joining our Facebook live stream video today about accommodations. Again, Nathan with gogohanguk.com. Thank you.